Hello, we're here, part 6, the last module, last part of time. So you made it. How you doing with all this? I'm hoping that we're doing this step by step. We're getting a little deeper, step by step, so that you're able to kind of work with it and go through everything. So you made it. So now we're talking about the last thing that we're going to talk about in time, which is developing a default calendar. I like to call it an ideal calendar, but before we get there, it's just now you've gone through everything. Now you know what you should be doing, not doing. You know you have it all done. You know where you should be. Step by step, we've been taking you through this whole thing. So now it's time to take all that and put it into a workable state for you. I want to talk about default calendars because, a lot of times you might be getting resistance. You might be shutting down. You're like, yeah, but I don't do that. Ooh, that's too structured. It puts me in a box. Oh, no, it's getting down. Oh, I can't do it. Whatever. What's going through your head? What's the ego trying to do? Just take the ego, stop the ego from driving the car, put the ego in the back seat, strap it in, give it toys to distract it. Good. Thank you. Now, here's the whole thing. You can do default calendars in, I did this again. I'm going to start this again. Start it. This is so I make sure I don't go too far and to make sure I'm keeping on track and keeping it concise. But this is not going to be that long anyway. So this is the whole thing. Anything can work if you make it work for you, right? So there's so many different ways for you to work on a calendar that's going to be good for you. And what it does, again, it's with that focus. It helps you keep the focus. It helps you keep, making sure you're being where you ought to be. It also allows you to get those things in that you may have to do that you don't want to do. So it's very quick. So I'm going to show you mine. This is from a long time ago. I just found it. But this is the way that I like to work. I'm not saying you have to work this way, but I like to work this way. I do like consistency. I like every week I'm doing this. I like to know. I don't have to do the same thing every week, but I just want to know. So when I create like bi-monthly things and stuff like that, I like a 1 1/3, 1 week, week 1, week 3, week 2, week 4. I'm a week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 type person, and things get put in there, and it just works so well for me. May not work for you. You may not be able to, because by the way, there's some industries and some businesses that you don't have that option, particularly if you're doing, trying to think, a computer, one of my client was fixes computers. So if a client had an emergency, had to go. I was working with a marine environmental company. So if there's an oil spill or something happens, they had to go. Another client he has environmental kind of things. So things that where you have to respond immediately and be on call, then my calendar is not going to work for them. So what I'm doing is actually share my screen here and show you mine. You can like it, not like it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so here we go. Oh wait, I'm not the whole screen. This one I gotta switch this new share. I'm just gonna do this because I got other stuff going on here. There we go. All right, so you can see up here, I have week 1, and then the way I do it is, this is back when I was in my office. I had home days and I had office days. So this is just how I like to live my life. I like to know where I am and things like that. So I have my activities in the morning, and they're all color-coded, right? They're all color-coded for me, and it's very all nice life and everything else, right? So we have all that. So this is me. This is week 1, week 2. It changed, you can see. This is week 1, week 2. I think there's some things you'll see that are different. Week 3, have different things. Pretty much they're the same, but they're just different, like monthly. I have a lot of things that are monthly type of meetings or bi-monthly type of meetings, so that gets put in there. and then week 4. And at this point, I had week 4 odd month and week 4 even month. I don't know what the difference was. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so that's how I like, and I like to be color coded. So it just makes it clearer for me so that I can see what I need to do when and when it's taken care of. That being said, oh, dogs are going to bark. I'm going to stop this for 1 second just so that. Okay, we're back. And it didn't happen, so that's cool. So this is how I lived my life, and I still live my life. I now have taken it to a whole nother level, and I like it, and it works for me. But it may not work for you. So and this is what I want to show you. So what does work for a lot of people are what I call time blocks. So here we have a calendar, and my calendar goes from, I have it from 5 to 8, and it's all empty. You see it's all empty? So then what you do is sometimes when you know it, you start just working with your blocks. What you do is you have these activities. Now that you have your activities and you put them in your skill and your fun, and you've done all that stuff you've already done. So those, particularly those important, non-urgent, you put the blocks in here. You put the block. You create a block. All right, I'm going to put a block here, and I'm going to do planning. Right? You just you can boom boom. If you need a little help with this, I can help you create a block. I suggest color coding it, but if you're not a color person, although I think pretty much we all are in this group, but if you're not, you can figure a way. I just know that for me, it just makes it simple, so you can see you can visually see what's revenue generating, what's marketing, that correlates to all your different tasks, right? And maybe it's just like an hour block, or even if it's a half-hour block. All those different things you can do. So I just want you to play with this. This one is really, this is like, ooh, this is really a small and simple one, because it's now taking all the information you've done, you've had time to digest it, now try to put it into something. If you need any help, any questions, then you know how to find me. Alrighty? And that's it. Have fun with this. So it's time to fly. Namaste, beloved one.